With the recent unbelievable news that Kirby Air Ride is getting a sequel called Kirby Air Riders, I have 10 things I would love to see for this sequel of a racing game. Most of these might be obvious, but I'll throw a little more specifics. And without further ado, let's just get right into the list. Now, this is going to be in no order, so the first thing I want to see is new maps. I mean, I think it was kind of hinted at by the trailer. It could have been the Meadows map. But if I could see the remastered maps of the original, but also just new maps, I hope it's not going to lay too much into one way or the other. Hopefully we get a nice even split. I'd love to see more things from the Kirby universe. More Dreamland stuff would be fantastic to see. And I think it's just kind of part of the course for a sequel. Another thing I want to see, and this was really cool about Kirby Air Ride, is there was actually 2 secret unlockable characters, that being Meta Knight and King Dedede. I would love to see more characters from the Kirby universe, specifically Bandana D, who they've been trying to make more of a frontline character. Other than that, I don't care what they do. They could go the Mario Kart world route and make every enemy, including the Cloud and the Fish. As long as I see Bandana D, I'll be pretty excited. I would also love to see them keep the local multiplayer with the 4-player split screen. That was awesome in the GameCube days, but it also came to my mind that they could finally make this an easy-to-play online multiplayer. And that would blow my mind. City Trial with at least 4 people would go awesome without having to have them in my own house. Especially with the update that Nintendo gave where one person can own the game and then share it locally. That also would help with the local play / online play. But speaking of online multiplayer, this makes me think of that we could possibly have at least 8 people playing Kirby Air Ride. I don't know how top down or top ride would go. That thing would probably be a little too chaotic for that kind of game mode, but City Trial would be a good chaotic, and obviously Air Ride mode is going to be, just feels more full, you know what I mean? Now this might be a hot topic because most people want the full game unlocked right away. I would really like for Sakurai to keep the checklist. That was a very cool, interesting mechanic he had going on in the original. And I would love to just unlock more colors and vehicles and all of that stuff, just like you did in the original. But just more of that in the sequel. Now, Kirby Air Ride is nothing without the actual Air Ride machines, or whatever you want to call them. Seeing more variations of that on top of having those characters that I would want, because Meta Knight and King Dedede acted as their own vehicles, for lack of a better word. I don't know what they could cook up. They could make maybe like an inverted machine, but it has better stats or something like that. Even for Top Ride, I would love to see some variations besides the left, right, or free ride. I don't know. I'm not the creative genius Sakurai is, but obviously I feel like we'll get some revamped stuff of that. I don't think he's going to add like a customization per machine, like a Mario Kart-esque where you could change the wheels or something, because there obviously are no wheels, but you know what I mean. I just want to see more machines that are creative in their gameplay direction. Talking about the more machines, I would also say like maybe like you could get the unlockable Hydra and Dragoon. Obviously making that really difficult to get because once you unlock them, no one's going to use them. Or maybe they could even do like you find the pieces throughout the map if it's a really long one. Maybe they add like a Grand Prix mode where you just do multiple sessions. You know what I mean? That would be also sick. Now that I think about it, I kind of would like a Grand Prix-esque mode in Kirby Air Ride. That'd be pretty cool. Didn't have that on the list, but honorable mention, I'm throwing that in right now. Now, one thing that was kind of hit or miss for the original Kirby Air Ride for me specifically was the enemy variety and the abilities you got. Some of them are really fun, like the music one that you would just damage everybody with. But some of them were a little lackluster, like obviously Sleep being really boring. I know it's a detrimental effect, but what was it? The Flight one was a little Some of them were really fun, like Thunder. But Thunder also had a caveat that I want to talk about along with like the fire ability, which would be my next want for Kirby Air Riders, which is actually being able to use separate buttons. I know Kirby Air Ride, it kind of like prided itself on being a one button game. A would control how much you powered up. It would use the abilities. But that specifically to me kind of hurt the gameplay. I would love to be able to use the thunder or fire ability without having to stop in place or drag. Uh, it kind of took a little bit of the momentum for the racing back from me. I could see if some people liked it, but for me, I feel like it would be a little more fluid if I had that option going back and forth, especially if I'm in this perfect world of like 8-player Kirby Air Riders and everyone just being chaotic. I don't want to keep stuttering around unless you're using that stupid pyramid-looking star. I'll put a picture right there. Maybe then you'll really like it. And last but not least, I think the biggest thing that everybody wants, I could be reading the room completely wrong here, is maybe like longer sessions of City Trial. That to me is like peak Kirby Air Ride, and being able to play longer sessions with more events happening would be extremely fun. I just can't get enough of that game mode, and I know some people specifically choose like what they want to see at the end. I don't really care. I think the game modes at the end of City Trial is just fine enough. But usually you'll get like 2 or 3 events. You do like a 7-minute match, and sometimes you get really boring ones like all the power-ups are like fakes or bouncy boxes. I would love either longer sessions of City Trial or more frequent events to just make it even more chaotic. And this is all in the hopes that City Trial gets bigger, more expansive, and just more love to it. I feel like that's a shoo-in. I feel like that's almost like guarantee that Sakurai will do that. And yeah, man, I'm just genuinely excited for Kirby Air Riders. I'm glad it's coming out in 2025. I mean, I know most of this list genuinely was just me saying I want more things and stuff, because it's kind of hard to harp on a game that's legit made with one button. You know what I mean? Especially a racing game. There's not much you can really nitpick on a racing game for me personally. I just really like Kirby games. I really loved Kirby Air Ride. Yeah, and just to have more of that in the year 2025 just makes me excited. But if there's something that you guys would change, let me know down below. Maybe there's something like wicked obvious that I'm just completely forgetting. Maybe you really care about having those hidden flowers in the game modes, and you want to find more of those or something. Yeah, let me know. I appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.